YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Trent Bishop, back again with another video. As I promised on this one, this is a great one. This is a great video. It's a great topic. It's something that I have been coming to terms with for quite a while. I'll say for the past couple of weeks, mainly, but primarily the last couple of months. So this video, I'm gonna be hitting on why it is you keep finding yourself in the same situations, particularly negative situations, okay? The number one reason why you keep finding yourself in similar situations, well, let me see if I'm gonna name as many reasons as I can, but the first reason that I've noticed when I find myself in a similar situation is that God is wanting me to learn my lesson. God is wanting me to learn my lesson. Have you ever heard the saying that God will continue to place you in the same situations until you learn your lesson? Whether that be in relationships, friendships, your career, anything in life that you find yourself repeating the same arguments, negative feelings, situations where it's just like, bro, it almost feels like deja vu. That is because God is wanting you to learn your lesson. Let me give you an example how it pertains to my life. So I just got out of let's say a situationship, right? And there were certain aspects that were good. There was a lot of aspects that were bad. However, the bad that I've experienced in that relationship specifically, there were situations that has happened verbatim in that relationship, in my relationship before that, in my relationship before that, in my relationship before that, where when we finally ended it, or when I finally decided like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, instead of me going and jumping in to another relationship, I asked myself, okay, bro, let's sit down and let's really unpack everything. Because I don't even feel like that relationship was just, I needed to heal from that relationship. I needed to heal from all my relationships, because there were certain things that were said in each relationship that it carried over from relationship to relationship. And I'm over here thinking like, man, you know, it's very easy to say, oh, this person was toxic, this person was this, that person was that. But who's the common denominator in all of these relationships? Me or you. Where it's like, I've gotten told things like, oh, why do I feel like you only hang out with me for sex? And I'm like, damn, my last girlfriend said that. And my girlfriend before that said that. And I'm just sitting here asking myself, well, why do they keep saying this? And it's because a lot of it was true. There was some truth in that. Now, it wasn't to say that I was primarily hanging out with them for sex, but when I look back on who I was in those relationships, I was very much controlled by my desires. I was controlled by my incessant need to have sex. And it's not to say that wanting to have sex is a bad thing. It's not. However, sex is like any other vice. It's like drugs. It's like gambling. It can be an addiction. And that's not to say I didn't have a sex addiction or anything like that. But becoming aware of that, though, like something as simple as that phrase, where it's like, damn, my last girlfriend said that, or my girlfriend before that, it's like, oh, shit, there's a lesson to be learned here. Which leads me into the next reason why you keep finding yourself in the same situation. Now, the first reason being, God wants you to learn your lesson. And if you find yourself in a similar situation again, that means you didn't learn your lesson. You see? We tend to, in relationships, rarely do you ever meet people who are healed from previous relationships and I use relationship because I care about relationships a lot. It's something that I just love the human interaction. So I'm using relationships as example because it's very intriguing to me. So it's very rare that you meet people who have healed from their previous relationships. A lot of times, people, including myself, we will carry baggage from previous relationships, and we tend to place those same feelings of insecurities or negativity on this new person that we're dealing with, but they never even did those things. So a lot of times we'll find ourselves in situations where we're having to take on the burden of past lovers from this person, which is unfair, but that's something that happens when we don't learn our lesson. Instead of going into a new relationship right after one has ended, you would be better off taking your time, sitting with yourself, and ask yourself, okay, what did I like from this relationship and what didn't I like? And being honest in those things. Because when you're honest about the things that were good and the things that were bad, you're able to learn. You're able to take the good and leave the bad. And we only want to feel good over here. We don't want to feel like a burden. We don't feel like we want to feel good all the time. Because life is meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be stressed out. It's not meant to be felt like, bruh, like why do you want to feel bad? Like nobody wants to feel that feeling. That shit sucks. So the second reason, I mean, you didn't learn your lesson, clearly. And yeah, the third reason, let's see, what's the third reason why you find yourself in similar situations? Oh, another reason why you find yourself in a similar situation is familiar. A lot of times when we find ourselves in situations that feel familiar, we think that that's what we need. No. A lot of times, and I'm going back to relationships because it's the best thing that I could use. That's the thing that I have the most knowledge on because that's what I experienced the most, relationships. I've been in and out of relationships since I was 16, 17. I'm 24 now. That's like 8 years. And I've never been this single. So now I have all this information. I'm just like, oh, I want to share it with you all. But that's besides the point. So where did I leave off? Familiarity. I would find myself damn near dating the same girl over and over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, man, you know what I'm saying? This just reminds me of home. Bruh. But the relationships, they never lasted. And it was just like, it was this homey feeling that I associated with familiarity or toxicity or whatever. It's because I just didn't want to do, it was very hard for me to accept that these things were not okay. Even if they were familiar. A lot of times when we find ourselves in familiar situations, there's a lot of childhood trauma there. Okay? There's trauma, whether it be your yearn for wanting to get love from somebody else. That was something that I had to come to terms with. That's something that that I've came to terms with being single and being in my own space, being able to reflect and look back on everything that I've been through objectively and be like, damn, that's why. So something that I've unpacked from sitting with myself and really working through the things that I've been through, I've uncovered that the reason being that I find myself with very controlling women is because my mother, in a sense, was very controlling. Now, it didn't mean that she didn't love me. She still does love me. However, there were certain things that she did that was very much it was like she was very highly reactive, and in turn, it caused me to always feel like it was the end of the world when it came to conflict. When it came to me when I did something wrong, it was very hard for me to speak up about it because she was very much this person who I idolized, still do, she's just the next point of contact in my life, that this is just the person that I look up to. And as a kid, we look up to our parents. We're not knowledgeable about a lot of things. They are, and we're thinking, man, this is just how it's supposed to be. But we get older, and then we carry these childhood traumas into our relationships, and we are associating this feeling of home with toxicity, with people pleasing, with not being able to voice how we feel because this is just how it was growing up. But I'm here to tell you that that's not the healthiest situation. So when I would find myself in these relationships with these very controlling women who were toxic, who was very hard to convince them, or not even, let me not say convince them, just kind of relaying what it is that I'm feeling, or something that I expressed that they did wrong, it was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, they were so caught up on how they felt that how I felt didn't matter. And a lot of times, when I look back on my childhood, that's kind of what I grew up in. Now, does that mean that it will be like that forever? No. Why? I am a living testimony, or a living testament to that. I have been doing the work because I always feel like we're a work in progress. The work is never finished. The job is never done. We're always going to be growing and improving and trying to make ourselves better. However, the work is work. It's hard to do. It's hard to be vulnerable enough to express the trauma that you've been through, or what it is that you need to do to move past these situations, because you want to live a life that is worth living. You want to wake up excited. You want to feel like, damn, I get another day. What are we about to do, you know? So the first thing you want to do is just making sure that you're really getting the time for yourself to feel your body and feel, and I mean, when I say feel your body, I mean being aware, being conscious of how people make you feel, how situations make you feel, how conversations make you feel, how activities make you feel. All of these things, I want you to take mental notes of those things, because that's what I've been doing, and it's been transforming my life a lot, to allow me to see, damn, I will never find myself in this situation again, because I have this new knowledge about myself from being with myself and listening to what I need, that I know that this isn't good for me, or that isn't good for me, you know? When you don't have that sense of security within yourself, you're going to continue to find yourself in similar situations, and you don't want to do that, because you'll find yourself in a perpetuating loop of insanity, as did I. That shit is not fun. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you know that shit ain't fun either. So the point of this video is to let you know that if you find yourself in similar situations over and over again, instead of looking outward and asking these people, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? How can they do this to me? No, that is the wrong way to look at it. Everything in our life is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. Whether we want to believe it or not, it is. If you're living a miserable life, a life that is filled with negativity, a life that is very much just not a good life, There is something inside of you that you have not come to terms with, that you know to be true, but instead of taking accountability and actually sitting with it, you'd much rather place it on external circumstances, and it causes you to just find yourself in a similar situation. So instead of doing that, look within. Look within and ask yourself, like, damn, bro, all right, so she did this, she did that, or they did this, they did that. What can I do to prevent that from happening again? And then you start there. And then as the days progress, you'll find yourself getting a new sense of comfortability. A comfortability in the things that actually serve you and not in the things that are familiar. Okay? Cool. We're at 16 minutes. Damn. All right, y'all. That's pretty much the end of this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Again, let me know what y'all want me to talk about next. This was a good one. Yeah, I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.